My history with Mortal Kombat. I didn't play MK1 too much because my SNES mouse came in and I was finally able to play Mario Paint. I loved MK2 because I thought it was ridiculously crunchy. I didn't love MK3 because I thought it was ridiculously difficult. MK4 was the first Mortal Kombat I played. It has my favoritism because it just reminds me of a simpler time. Deadly Alliance was great because I could stab someone with my weapon, keep my distance, and they bleed out. It never worked on Moloch though. I never could beat him. Deception I don't really own because GameCube games are worth gold these days. Armageddon was a Smash Ultimate of its day as it had every character from every game including the bosses. Also Mortal Kombat was stupidly fun. MK9 was peak. Epic story, crunchy fighting, and gruesome fatalities. Unpopular opinion, but I didn't like X. The fighting is fine, it's just the story was terrible. Oh boy, I'm excited to play Mortal Kombat 11. My love for the franchise made it the 4th game I've ever bought on its release date. The first thing I did was jump into story mode. Mortal Kombat has had a simple formula of telling its story for the past few years. We get assigned a character and do about 4 fights with them until we move on to the next character. In between these fights there are cutscenes that tell a story and provide a reason as to, well, why we're fighting. The story is that Raiden has gone bad Raiden, which has happened before, and is punishing MKX. Kronika, who is the Keeper of Time, is not happy with how Raiden spent the last 2 games messing with the timelines. So she decides to create a new era without Raiden's existence, and the first step is to merge the past and present, bringing characters back to life and interacting with their future.
We are decades beyond those events.
Now I'm going to say that the story in Mortal Kombat 11 is great. The action, the characters, the emotion, the humor, and the fact that there are multiple plot points made the story a huge fun to play through. Watching the cutscenes would be so engaging that I'd forget I'm playing a game and I think I'm watching a movie. Hell, I'd add this to my Blu-ray movie collection. I'd sometimes forget I'm playing a game until those health bars pop up and I'm like, oh shit, I have to play the game now. Yeah, story mode is a big win. I'd even compare it to Endgame. I'd like to address that maybe I love the story in 11 so much because X set a pretty low standard, and X didn't stand a chance after 9 set a really high standard. But why did I hate X so much? I don't hate the game. I think it has the best roster of any game actually. I just think that the story mode was terrible at so many points. A big example will be demonstrated by my artful drawing. Let's take the Jackie Briggs chapter. Her, Cassie Cage, Takeda, and Kung Jin are in the forest waiting to ambush Kotal Khan and his minions. They split the fight, which makes sense, but it goes like this. Jackie wins her fight, this person is having trouble so she fights this one, and repeats here, and repeats here. That's it. That's the chapter. Awful. Moving on from story mode, I want to talk about the roster. I could make a joke about how these characters refuse to look the same for one consecutive game, but I'm not going to. We have our classics, our welcome returns, and some newcomers. Now for years Mortal Kombat has been introducing horror movie villains as bonus characters. 9 had Freddy Krueger, X had Leatherface, Alien, Predator, and a shitty looking Jason. I was thinking 11 was going to have Michael Myers, as he is pretty relevant, but nope, not yet. Fingers crossed though. So what about the combat in Mortal Kombat? The fighting in MK11 is virtually the same, but some differences. Rather than building up 3 bars to execute an X-ray attack, X-ray attacks have certain light criteria to achieve to perform. Sometimes I end up performing them randomly. Instead, we now have 4 bars, 2 are dedicated to enhancing our special moves, while the other 2 are used for interacting with the environment. Now, if a fighter's health gets low enough, they can use their Fatal Blow, which is basically a fatality, but without the killing part. Speaking of which, fatalities. How are they here? Another issue I had with X was that the X-rays are often much better than the fatalities, and the fatalities often look just goofy. Is that an issue here? Sometimes. Some of them are gory, but some of them are silly, and the gooey blood doesn't help. You know what confuses me? These pre-fight interactions. Now, I like them, but they feel out of place. It's fun when trash talk is thrown around, but it's weird when characters have a nice interaction and it's followed by broken bones, stabbing, and decapitation.
Ew, what a mess.
Okay, so is MK11 the best Mortal Kombat? No, 9 is. Now, I know I spent a good 2 minutes milking the story mode. Honestly, it's so nice I'd buy the game twice, but it wasn't perfect. There are plot holes as Kronika's powers seem limited by plot convenience. Also, they throw around the words new era so much that it could be considered a drinking game. Other than that, I admitted that I think X is the better roster, and other than that, 9 has the best fighting and fatalities were the goriest in the franchise. And that's what MK's roots are. I one time performed the Sub-Zero head rip in front of my sister and she freaked out. So yeah, MK9 is the best, but being second is nothing to be ashamed of.